This is 7 News. From the studios of 7 Perth, Susannah Carr.
Good evening. Homes have been damaged, power lines torn down and at least 45 schools have been shut after last night's powerful storm. But the Weather Bureau says it could have been much worse. In a moment, we'll bring you a live report on the thousands of homes and businesses still without power. First, though, it's been another busy day for the SES cleaning up the debris.
The damage stretched some 500 kilometres from Moora north of Perth as far south as Albany. Most spared, but not all. This was Bowrey. A tree crashed onto a house. A car crushed at Leeming. Bill McNally woke to this in Mandurah.
There was this almighty bang and a crash and the lights went out. It just happened so quick.
In Pinjarra, a tree missed Stuart Woolston's shed by centimetres. It's a pretty sizable tree.
Yeah, you're not kidding, yeah. Yeah, sort of one must have sort of split and went that way.
Across the road, his neighbours weren't so lucky. The force of the wind was enough to blow the roof off this Pinjarra house into the Duncans' backyard. They'd only recently spent thousands of dollars installing solar panels. Luckily, the couple wasn't home last night. On holiday in Karratha.
This is the house here. She said that you've got no roof, Mum.
There was little the SES could do, the damage too dangerous.
We cannot get on the roof. The only thing is cover up what they can.
Heather and Doug's children recovered the family photos, forced to leave everything else exposed to the elements.
Just shock, yeah. But you just don't know what to say, do you? It's such a shock and you think, how are we going to get on?
Little comfort for the Duncans perhaps, but the experts say this was better than they feared. Emergency crews were bracing themselves, still facing a backlog from Sunday's wild weather. As the wind topped 107 kilometres an hour at Swanbourne, even SES volunteers were ordered to shelter inside. In headquarters, they waited for the worst and received more than 170 calls reporting damage. No once-in-a-decade storm like Sunday, but this was still a scary sight.
We were gearing up for a twice in a 10-year storm last night, and as I say, I'd much sooner be criticised for being over-prepared than under-prepared.
Already, one major insurer has received 3,500 claims for damage after 3 wild storms in 6 days. Jessica Vanderende, 7 News.
It's been a busy few days for Western Power, which even before last night's storm had been trying to fix its biggest power loss on record. The utility says it expects to have the bulk of its customers back on the grid tonight, but it warns some homes and businesses might not be reconnected for days. Kate Smithers is in Aurelia, where residents are still without power. And Kate, how long have they been waiting?
So residents here have been waiting since Sunday's storm for their power to be restored. That's meant no heating, cooking or refrigerated food. The problem is now with the strata manager. Now, as we go to air, Western Power says 5,700 homes and businesses are still without electricity. 1,000 of those have been waiting since Sunday, and some could be waiting until next week.
Apparently something hit it and it's been dangling like that. One of the residents had noticed it.
There are 18 units in this Aurelia apartment block, most occupied by families. They've had no power since Monday.
It is pretty disgusting and it is a bit of a joke. It's a big lapse in duty of care, I think.
For 3 days, the Scott family has had no refrigerated food. Mother Rachel says the family can't shower for work or school. Living by candlelight, $250 worth of food gone to waste.
It's getting beyond a joke. You know, if I could go somewhere and have a shower or cook a decent meal, I would.
Western Power went to the site on Monday but couldn't restore power until the strata fixed the damaged pole. The strata manager was initially advised it couldn't touch the pole because the fuses on it belonged to Western Power. But late this afternoon, it agreed to try to fix it.
Nothing gets done by arguing. Just get in there, get the job done.
This week, Western Power has been hit with the biggest power loss on record.
That's where all the faults are.
After the 2010 hailstorm, it took 9 days to reconnect every customer.
2010 storms took us 8 to 9 days to complete all of the restorations. We said right at the outset that this was a bigger event for us to manage and it may take us just as long to mop up every single connection.
Sally Bowrey, 7 News.